Hey y'all, it's B, the tax lien strategist. Please forgive me for this lighting. I explained already, I do not know what I'm doing. I just got in. We're busy today. I did have a couple of abstracts to write. I'm having a few things published for an organization. But I wanted to make this particular um, episode here because I just got off the phone with someone and I was telling her, recounting to her about the situation that happened today. And it just came to me that maybe I should just mention this. These type of things, they serve to help the residents understand how deep property theft is here in Harris County and how it has gone gotten to the point where people feel entitled to steal. So I'm not going to say everything about the whole case, but I'll give you a little bit of background on it. So my client works for the city and called me a year ago and earlier this year, told me about being evicted out of his own airship property. He pays the taxes and everything. So anyway, we got that straight. They evicted, it started with a family member who signed a deed over to one investor without his signature and other family members, and that investor flipped it to the investor that he's dealing with right now. So this investor that he's dealing with, that's on that went to court and got his property by, because he got the property from the investor with one signature, he's performing as if he owns a man's property. Oh, let me say this too. I'm probably going to have to make more than one video. This one will be maybe like a part 2, maybe a part 3 to get it all in. But yeah, this lesson is worth doing that. I'm missing a lot of stuff that's not important, but I'm saying that this investor got his property by default. He didn't know anything about it. He's at work every day, gets an eviction notice, and of course he calls me. The investor waits until the time for appeal is over. They think they know what they're doing there in order to try to evict him. I knew that what happens with the time of appeal is going to be told that he couldn't appeal it. And most lawyers that he called is going to tell him that they couldn't do anything. Well, I knew there was another remedy. And not saying that I know more than lawyers. That's not what I'm saying. It's just that I do this work. And I've learned these things. And I've learned from people who practice law on a national, level. And who practice and who know and teach law in all 50 states. I'll put it like that. But anyway, so I knew there was another remedy. We did that. And so now he's a plaintiff. So what happens is this guy gets frustrated because he just didn't expect this black man to be able to, to even know about this remedy. He just thought for sure he was just going to get the man's property. He's going to have to move out. So this guy goes and gets an attorney. And so my client filed the proper paperwork, and the time, it was just hours before, he had double checked hours before the time for them to respond. And they did respond to the suit at the 9th hour. And so he didn't get his property back by default judgment. But he knew he could prove, he wasn't worried about it. He knew he could prove it. So this guy gets him an attorney, and that's what I'm telling you about these attorneys. And they say that they had a will. And the judge says, well, did you bring the will? No, we didn't bring the will. So to make a long story short, the judge postponed the trial for a whole year because they said they had a will. And they did attach a copy. When they filed everything, they did attach a copy of a will. And so, but my client insisted that there was no will. So the judge like, well, with them going back and forth like that, we'll just postpone this, for another year. Well, now my client, my client doesn't want to wait that long. He doesn't want this hanging over his head. He's got another property that he's got to attend to that we're working on. Here's why I'm telling y'all this story. And this is why black people have to be careful. All of these positions, these judges, these positions, they have to be voted upon to be in office. See, we're going to have to do better. There's nobody on the city level. I've tried. City council level, I tried. We know we're in District D. On the county level or on the district level that cares enough about what's going on to do anything about property theft. Although I'm at town halls raising hell while these gentrifiers are out here concerned about street crime, I'm standing up saying, well, hey, wait, when are we going to start dealing with property theft as a crime? Because of course it's civil, y'all. It's a white collar crime. You see what I mean when I say the government always has its hands in some shit and trying to protect the thieves? You see what I mean? This is what I'm talking about. This is so frustrating. Because it's a white, all that's, I'm going to make a lot of noise about that on a national level. It's some stuff going to descend on the city of Houston, but we got to get some cases out of the way, got to get some people satisfied, got to get some people back in their homes. But we're also working on some of the things that we're going to do. But I'm saying all that to say, now, why did the judge not look at the will? Here's what the will, my client was like, there was no will. Well, there wasn't. You see, because here's the thing. When the will, because he knew his mother died without a will. The lawyer uploaded a copy of a will. The will had my client's two nieces as his mother's admin of the estate. But the property was sold by a totally different family member. Now, this is what's cold-blooded. This lawyer knows what the state of Texas says about wills, about admins. She knows it. But she still uploaded a copy of a will with names as admins that were other than the names that conveyed title to these predatory investors. She knows that's wrong. But guess what? I didn't go to court with him. He went with himself and one of our witnesses. The judge, instead of him looking at the will and saying, these aren't the people who signed, he decided to do a trial in a year. And this is my point. We got people in office who don't know the law. Okay? We got people in office making decisions about our property who either, if they know the law, then they don't care. Those are the only two choices we have. Because why wasn't the lawyer admonished and called out for supplying a will where the proof was not there that she claimed she was going to have for her client? This happens all the time. Okay? This is why I had to do something. Because I was tired of watching the government steal from our people along with these predatory investors. Listen, we got investors out here who don't speak a word of English or pretend not to, who come from countries, they think they're better than black people, who come from countries where they got to ration out water to flush the toilet and can't bathe but once a month because there ain't enough water. It's not even modern cities, thinking that they're better than you, thinking that they're better than us. because they come to America, give somebody some money, lawyers, to teach them how to steal from us, and they go out there and do the best they can. And they were getting away with it until we stepped in. Y'all think I'm not going through this whole damn city and going through every property? I don't care how long it takes, and get this property back for my people? You think I'm not? That lawyer uploaded, attached. It's in the court. It's, you can put, I'm not going to give you the file number, the recording number right now, because there's still litigation, is still still litigating. But the point is, it's public record, but I'm not going to mention anything right. I'm not going to give the information right now. I'm just giving you the scenario. That lawyer uploaded something that the judge, so she lied to the courts. You think I can't get this man's property back by filing the right motions, by having him file the right motions? You got to know the law. And it's shameful that I, as a consultant, know more about the law than some of these judges and some of these lawyers. Either the law, but I'm going to be listing on this channel at some point all the district court judges who hear these cases, whose positions are coming up. Listen, if they don't care about us, y'all shouldn't care about them. Let's get their asses out of office. See, our team is small, but we do some mighty work. We can eke out a little bit more time and space to work on. We report back to the whole community. We've got 2 neighborhoods that aren't covered. We pretty much got a rep in each area that's being gentrified. Okay? We're training them. I teach tax lien investing, but I teach people how to invest in tax liens with morals and standards, the way we invest. If we got to invest in our own communities with morals and standards, everybody that's coming to these neighborhoods going to have to do the same thing. And we're also working on them getting more than a pat on the back, getting a slap on the wrist. We want hard time. This is as much a crime as it is this crime with these little white gentrifying women come here to these neighborhoods and want to be such victims and want to act like, I'm not saying that crime isn't crime. I'm saying don't call street crime and then not call this crime. That's what I'm saying. We're going to check, because see, that's why people don't mind doing it, because they know. Now we're going to take, if they're prosecuted, that's different. But it's the way they steal and to the degree that they do it. And some of my clients, the reason they don't go to the prosecutor right away is because it takes the prosecutor's DA's backed up. Okay? I can contact them and get money out of them for my clients, or they risk being exposed. That's easier than waiting on the DA. But we're going to be making a list of all the judges, all these judges on the district court level, on the county level, probate and civil, county level, and with the exception, of the commissioner's court and all of that. But there are some positions that have to be voted upon. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be listing those things. I have letters going out next week to every judge in this county, on the county level, district court level, and all of that. Depending on their response back to me, I will get back with the community, let them know, and if the response isn't what we want to hear, we're going to start looking at their opponent. This is what we have to do. So the churches don't want us in the community to go to church? Because if gentrification gets all the properties, what are they going to do? Them white folk ain't going to these churches. And also, I mean, the churches aren't doing enough, but these politicians, they need our votes. Y'all need to know what's going on in their courts. Let's stop voting. Let me let y'all know we're counting now how many cases, how many properties we've lost in the courtroom. Whether whether they know the law, know it well, or care about the law. I'm going to tell you something else. Y'all stop hiring lawyers who don't know the law about what you're there for. Okay? Lawyers have specialties. I've seen too many lawyers take people's hard-earned money, thousands of dollars, and the first time someone shows up in court and they end up having to go to trial, those people jump up, remove themselves from the case, and the client is left without an attorney. It's ugly out here. Y'all have no idea what we see every day and what our people go through. You have no idea. So I dare anybody to come on here trying to correct me and tell me about this or that. Or if your people just pay taxes, none of this would happen. F you. And that's the clean version. Yeah. I'll be making a part 2 to this. Maybe not tonight, but it's coming. Maybe later tonight. Maybe in the morning. We've had a long day fighting this stuff, fighting these demons, fighting this stuff. And this is common when lawyers are lying to the court, playing games, knowing what the state of Texas says. The state of Texas says, and I wrote it down. Let me read it to you real quick before I go. Let me tell you what the state of Texas says about admins. Because if you die with a will, you name your admin. If you die intestate without a will, then it's called then the judge decides, the state decides who's over your estate. Okay? But let me tell y'all something. The man says that's not his mother's signature. I believe it. So guess what he's going to do? Spend the money to send the papers to Austin to get the signatures authenticated. Oh, it's some folk finna look real crazy around here. I believe the will was concocted, put together at the last minute with the other family's help. And they just gave them more money. That's what I believe, because I've seen it happen. Okay? I've seen it happen. And this is how devious and dirty people are. Okay? They don't mind doing it. They don't mind doing the crime. They just don't want to pay for it. They don't want to get in trouble for it. It's a mess. But anyway, this is what the law says. In Texas, and this is what I told the client, only the court-appointed personal representative, the executor or the administrator of the estate, has legal authority to transfer estate property during probate. If a family member who was not the administrator signed a deed to transfer the property, that transfer is invalid under Texas law. This is legal. I'm reading from some legal notes. Okay? That's all I'm going to say on that. I'll talk to y'all on the next one.